welcome back to C++ Programming. We're in Unit 4 and in Example 2. We're supposed to write a program that prompts a user to input 3 numbers. The program should then output the numbers in ascending order. So we already have for us include the IOStream library, and we're of course using the namespace standard, and we're in the int main, and now we have our variable declarations. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to proclaim 3 doubles. I might as well do them all on one line. We'll call them num1, num2, and num3. I also want to have a double I'm going to call temporary or temp. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to accept user input. So I want to ask the user to give me 3 numbers. So I'm going to put what he gives me into number 1, number 2, and number 3. So now I want to give myself a line here. I'll just go C out a line. Now I want to write the program logic and output statements. I want to have an if statement here. So I want to run this where the numbers are in ascending order. I'm going to have a temporary number here and say if number 1 is greater than number 2, then I'll have the temporary assigned to number 1, and then I'm going to have number 1 is equal to number 2, and number 2 is equal to temp. So that's what I'm going to do with the if statement. So first I take if number 1 is greater than number 2. So now I need opening and closing curly braces. So I assign temp to number 1. Now I'm going to assign number 1 to number 2. And now I'm going to assign number 2 to temp. So if it's false, of course, if number 1 is not greater than number 2, then this if statement is not going to run. So now we know that number 1 is less than or equal to number 2. That's just a comment. I'm going to have a C out statement. So how I'm going to handle this is I'm going to have an if-else statement. So I still need to check the value of number 3. So if the value of number 3 is less than or equal to number 1, I'm going to have a certain statement. Otherwise, I'm going to write a second statement. So I have 3 possible statements. So I'm going to express this in an if-else statements. So my first if statement is I'm going to check number 3 against number 1. If that's true, I'm going to say number 3 is less than number 1 is less than number 2. So I have another possibility that number 1 is less than or equal to number 3, and number 3 is less than or equal to number 2. So I put that possibility out here, what the statement will be, the output statement will be if that's true. If that's true, what do we want to print out? Print out that number 1 is less than number 3, which is less than number 2. So that's that situation is true. That's what we print out. Okay, that leaves us with the final situation where number 1 is less than number 2, which is less than number 3. So this will cover all of our situations. This is the last else. So we have 3 potentials. So this takes care of the last one. So I'm going to run the code. Tells me to enter 3 numbers. 15, 25, 77. Click enter. There you go. That's all there is to it. Now if you made a mistake, you'd have the error code up here and have the number line over here to tell you where the error is. Okay? So it should be pretty straightforward. Have any questions, issues, or concerns? Let me know.